Hello and welcome to our Henry County 4-H Club Officer Training for Secretaries. I'm Stacy Foy, I'm your County 4-H agent, and today we'll be going through an overview of your responsibilities as your club's secretary. But first of all, congratulations on being elected as your 4-H Club secretary. That's a huge honor, and I'm so happy for you that you were elected in this position, and I hope that you find this position to be one where you learn some more leadership skills, and I hope that you're going to enjoy keeping records for your 4-H club. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. I have made your club secretary book digital this year, so you can, if you're good with a laptop or a tablet, you can save this to that, and then it is fillable, so you can just keep saving it and keep a digital record, or you can utilize your paper copy as well. Make sure you put your name on your secretary's guide if it's a paper copy, and that way, if you misplace it, it can get back to you, okay? So let's go. First of all, we have a list of your responsibilities here. So first of all, I want you to keep a record of the membership of the club. Now, this is easy. Ask your teacher for a roster of your 4-H club, and he or she should be able to give you that, and then you can put it down in your book. I'm going to show you where that is located here in just a moment. But it's important to keep a roster and then to keep record of who is present and absent at our meetings. During each meeting, you're going to do roll call and keep a record of attendance. Roll call is kind of fun. We have different ways to answer for each monthly meeting. Feel free to change that if you want to, but make sure that you pick topics that everybody can answer, okay? Some people may not be able to answer some topics, so make sure that you pick topics that everybody's able to answer. Take notes during the meeting. I've got places for you in this book to be able to take your notes, and then after the meeting is over, just as soon as you can, go ahead and write the minutes of your meeting. The minutes don't really have anything to do with the time of the meeting. The minutes are a record of what happens during the meeting, and I've got some examples within this book for you to be able to utilize. And then part of your responsibility is reading them at the next meeting. So if you wrote your minutes for November, then you'll need to read them at the December meeting. Another part of your responsibilities is to send your minutes to the Paris Post-Intelligencer for publishing in their paper on our Wednesday farm page. The Paris Post-Intelligencer is our local newspaper, and this is a really good way to market your 4-H program. Family members and friends love to read children's names in the paper. So it's a really good way to get publicity for your 4-H club, and also to recognize those 4-H members that have participated. Something that I think also is important for our officers is to participate in monthly contests. You are role models for your club members, so we want you to be upbeat and excited about our 4-H program. And one of the ways that you can be a role model is participating in the monthly contest as well. Now, I know that sometimes we have life that happens, and if you're sick or can't, something happens and you're not able to participate, I understand. But for the most part, I want you to have those contest entries, okay? And a big part of being a good secretary is organized, efficient, and timely. I want you to learn. If you're not organized, efficient, and timely, this is the perfect opportunity for you to learn to be more so, okay? Here's just a quick letter to you from me, congratulating you, but also something that's really important is my email is here and our office phone number. So I would like for you, if you have any questions, please make sure that you email me or call me. Email is the best way to get a hold of me right now because we are still working at home some, we're in the office some, If you call our office number, somebody will answer during office hours and get the message to me. If you call after hours, you'll get an answering machine. Please make sure to leave your name, phone number, and purpose of your call, okay? And we'll get back to you. Now, here's some secretary tips. When we're talking about minutes, and this is a page that you'll want to go back and look over again and again. Some important things in your minutes are your club's names. So for the purpose of the paper, we don't say Mrs. Smith's club. We say Jane Smith's 5th grade club at Sunnyside Elementary School. So use your teacher's first and last name, the name of your school, the date of the meeting, your 4-H agent's or leader's first and last name, and that's Stacy Foy or Angela Wilson. What we talk about, sometimes we'll have educational programs that we talk about. You'll need to put the names of the members that led pledges, gave thoughts for the day, gave a poem, gave a demonstration. We want their first and last names in the paper, and then put the first and last names of your contest participants and the ribbons they won. And then also don't forget to include who wrote that. That was you. Put your first and last name. Also, we don't write in first person for the minutes, okay? So here's your instructions for sending minutes to the Paris PI. You can either mail it to the Paris Post-Intelligencer, or most commonly we use email. Now this is something you may need your teacher's help with. You can also send it to me and I'll forward it onto the paper. If you do send a fax or anything like that to me, we can arrange for that, but please make sure you use, if you handwrite it, please make sure you use a pen. Pencil just does not fax well, okay? But you can scan those as well, okay? Okay, here's an example of good first meeting minutes. So this would be your first meeting. So basically all you need to do is take out the information that's not yours and put in the information that is yours. For instance, your name goes here. Your club's name goes here. Okay, fill in, replace the date with the correct date. And then list your officers that were elected and the next meeting date. Okay, now once we get into our regular meetings, here's another example. Once again, for the most part, you can take these minutes and just take the information that's not yours and put the information, fill it in with your information, okay? So the regular meeting of Jane Smith's 5th grade club at Sunnyside Elementary School met on Tuesday, November 22nd. The meeting was called to order by President John Lincoln. Vice President Sue Adams called on Betsy Ross to lead the Pledge of Allegiance and Charlie Knapp to lead the 4-H pledge. The thought of the day was given by Mike Turner and a poem was read by Mary Kennedy. A demonstration on horse colors was given by Sam Sims. Extension 4-H program assistant Angela Wilson presented a program on rocket balloons and Newton's third law. Teams of 4 launched a balloon along a string and competed against other teams with different types of strings and sizes of balloons. And of course, for this paragraph, you would replace it with what we did that month, okay? Next up is your contest winners. Purple ribbon winners in the poster contest were Megan Drawn and William Brown. Blue ribbon winners were Trey Black and Jessica Williams. Red ribbon winners were Jason Thomas and Chris Jones. The next meeting will be January 8th and the speech contest will be held. So that's those are 2 really good examples, easy to reproduce. Next up is your club membership and attendance record, and I've put an example here. So you're going to fill in names, first and last. It will be helpful to you if you'll alphabetize them by last names, because we'll have a club roster that Miss Angela and I will use, and we'll have them alphabetized by last names as well. So when we are telling you who participated in contests or we give you that paper, it'll be quicker for you to be able to go through your list, okay? So whatever system you use for keeping up with who is present and who is absent, X or check or whatever, I like to use P for president and A for absent. You'll go down and this is the record you'll keep during roll call, okay? See, we've got columns for the first meeting, second meeting, third meeting, and so on. I've got two, most of you won't use this second page, but some of our clubs are combination clubs, and so they have more than 24 members. And so if you need to use the second page, it's here. Most of you will not. Now, here's our monthly meeting agenda. You will have a speaking part in the monthly meeting. So I'm going to go through this and let you see what a typical meeting looks like, okay? In the past, the secretary has sat up in the front of the classroom with the president and vice president. We are not doing that this year. The president will sit up there by themselves, and then you will sit at your normal desk. When it is your turn to speak, I normally ask the vice president to stand up. It may prove difficult for you to do that because you're going to be taking roll. So you can stay seated. When it's your turn to speak, make sure you use a nice loud voice. We want everybody in the room to be able to hear you. So if you're a quiet speaker, you may need to practice that, all right? With your loud voice, not your yelling voice, just your loud voice. So the president is going to rap their gavel 2 times. I now call this meeting of Ms. Smith's 4-H Club to order. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by John Smith and remain standing for the 4-H pledge led by Jane Doe. Everybody will stand up and do the pledges. After everybody sits down, the president will say, will the secretary please call the roll of Mrs. Smith's 4-H Club and read the minutes of the last meeting? Here's your big moment. You will say, please answer the roll call with your favorite movie. All right. Now, you might find that it's helpful to let everybody know before the meeting starts that roll call will be your favorite movie, and that way that gives them some time to think about it. Now, like I said, you can change this up a little bit. You might change to favorite TV show, your favorite app. There's a different roll call for each month's meetings, and you can look through there. Like I said, feel free to change roll call if you have an idea of something that would be fun, but make sure that it's something that everybody can answer, okay? So after you do the roll call, you're going to call everybody's name. They'll say their favorite movie. You'll fill out whether they're present or absent. It will then be your turn to read the minutes. So don't forget that. The minutes are what you have written, that record of the last meeting's minutes, okay? So this month, at our next month's meeting, you'll read the record of what happened last time at our last meeting. So that's reading the minutes. Now, after you have read the minutes, the president is going to ask, are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? So the president is asking this of the club membership. So if you maybe wrote down that someone got a purple ribbon, but they actually got a blue ribbon, they might raise their hand and say, I got a blue ribbon last month. If that's the case, it's fine. That's the reason we ask for corrections or additions to the minutes, because no one is perfect. And sometimes we make mistakes, and that's a way for us to keep a perfect record of what goes on in our clubs. So if someone raises their hand and makes a correction or an addition, you can just add that into your minutes, and that's all you have to do. That's fine, okay? Excuse me. If there are no corrections or additions to the minutes, the president will say, if not, they stand approved as read. Then the president will turn the meeting over to the vice president. We'll go through the thought for the day, the poem, and the demonstration, old business and new business, and then the meeting will be adjourned, okay? During this time, you will need to be taking notes. And here's where you can take notes, okay? Here's a place for you to fill in who leads the pledge, who gives the thought for the day. Make sure you're using first and last names. Who read the poem, who gave demonstrations. You may find that there's 2 people that gave a demonstration that month. What the 4-H leader taught, when the next meeting and contest will be. And then here's a place for you to fill out names for those of the 4-Hers that got awards for their contest entries, okay? So those are your notes. Based on your notes, you can then construct your meeting minutes. There's a page here. You can type directly into this. You can type it into another word processing program and print it out and staple it to there. If you handwrite it, the same thing. You could staple it into your minutes. If you have your paper book, copy and paste, any of that works, okay? And then here's these pages all over again. For the next meeting, we have another meeting agenda. You can see this roll call is something you look for in a friend. I think that one's nice. That's a new one. I've changed all these this year. And once again, a place to take your meeting notes and a place to write your minutes. It's always helpful if if you aren't sure that you've done the right thing with your minutes, please feel free to email me a copy, or you can ask your teacher to look over the minutes. Teachers are awful busy, and I don't mind doing that. But either way will work out. Your teacher may, you may find that your teacher is able to help you with that. If not, I'm happy to do that as well, okay? And this is your book. So you have the biggest book because you are the record keeper for the 4-H club. So as you get this book and go through it, once again, if you have questions, please feel free to call me. If there's anything that you're confused about, you have a good bit of work to do as the secretary. So please make sure that you feel free to call me if you want to. Thank you for participating and watching our virtual officer training. And I'll see you soon at our 4-H club meetings. Bye-bye.